My name is David Lee Pulga. I'm originally from Ewa Beach, Hawaii, which happens to be the same island that Honolulu is on, and that's where I'm from. What brought me to Las Vegas was my wife having to deploy to Afghanistan in 2012, 2013, and I also had enrolled at the Art Institute of Las Vegas, where I just recently graduated with a degree, a bachelor degree in digital film and video production. My fitness goals are to be as toned as possible, to get down to at least 7% body fat, because well, in about 10 to 11 weeks, I'll be competing at the Las Vegas Classic for my very first show in the men's physique C class. I was told that I would be in the C class because of my height. I'm a short guy. I'm doing the Las Vegas Classic because it's something I've always aspired to do. I've always wanted to look ripped. I've always wanted to be in the best shape of my life, and what better way to motivate me than a show, than a physique show? Because if I'm just doing it for bragging rights, to just take pictures, then it's kind of pointless. I want an actual goal, something that I can say, I did this for that reason, and here's the pictures to prove it, which is contrary to what I just said earlier. I do supplement. I take a multivitamin. I take a multivitamin. I do a pre-workout. I do BCAAs, protein. Eat a lot of food. 6 months ago, I started doing Jay Cutler's Mass Gainer program, and that was for 8 weeks, and I did that about 6 times, and I gained a lot of mass, a pretty good amount of mass. I went up to about 165, almost 170 in mass. And at that point, that's when I decided I wanted to do the Las Vegas Classic, because I have all this mass, but hardly any cuts. I need to shred, and I don't know how to do that. So that's when I got my trainer, Nick Osler. I work in television. I produce a few television shows, one being this one, Made in Vegas, that LV Comic Life, Midnight Munchies. I produced a show at my school a long time ago. It was called Fashionably Funny. That was fun. Also, I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been doing that for 10 years.
Who here's not been to Hawaii? Make some noise. Wow, okay. I'll tell you what, if you've never been to Hawaii, I'll tell you where not to go. Don't go to the ghetto, okay? I was in the ghetto in Hawaii. I forgot I was in the ghetto. I got mad. I was like, hey, move! Person came out their car. Bro, you yelling at me? No. I speak cow. I said moo. Bro, yell at me one more time. I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm gonna punch you in the face. And then her husband came out the car.
I love it, and I think everything's starting everything that I've done in the past, being entertainment or production, it's all coming to one, and this is what it is: entertainment, fitness, and production, and this is it. I'm doing it. Being in the industry that I work in television as well as entertainment, I have long hours, late hours. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I've done all my meals and it's already 12 o'clock. I'm hungry. I just did a set at the comedy club or some venue, and maybe I bombed. And I've done that quite a few times lately, because I just got back after coming back from school. And when you bomb, one of the struggles I face is bombing. Not so much bombing, but what I do after I bomb, how I handle it. Sometimes I want to eat. Sometimes I want to eat whatever I want to eat until I fall asleep. And that's where I find conflict between the two industries, be it fitness and stand-up comedy. What I hope to gain is a deeper understanding for fitness, the way the body works. I want to know how dieting affects everything, and I'm starting to see how dieting affects the body. I used to think that dieting was contrary to what my goals were as far as getting big and ripped. And I was like, man, I don't want to diet. That means I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose mass. I'm not going to reach my goals if I stop eating as much as I do. You're supposed to eat, but little did I know there's a science to this, and my trainer was gracious to share some of that information with me. And so also a deeper appreciation for the industry. I want to know what it's like to be on that stage. I've done a few other stages. I've sang, I've danced, I've done stand-up comedy. Now I want to know what it's like to stand in front of a crowd with just shorts on and flex. Flex, flex, wah, wah. Like that. I want to flex like that. Lifting is great, but if you're not eating the proper foods in the proper portions, then what are you doing it for? What is the point? So having a trainer and doing all kinds of research online, understanding the body, understanding my body and how it works and how things affect other things, I'm really starting to learn a lot. I did a shoot with Ben, and I saw that my body, my midsection needed work, so I did more work on that, and I came back the following month to show what I've done in the last month, and I started to see that, okay, cool, there's been improvement in my midsection. Now I gotta work on my lower abdomen as well as my back, because my back in the first shoot didn't have anything. I had a fat back. You ever had a fat back? You ever look good in the front and fat in the back? How is that even possible? How can you look like bam and then bleh in the back? That's weird. Check this out. This next segment on Supplement of the Day vid is brought to you by Sin City Nutrition. Check it out. What do I use? It's a watermelon flavor, and it tastes great. It does the job. It's awesome. I have no problems with it. In fact, I'm inclined to just stick with them because they know exactly what my body needs and how it works. And I've seen the results so far. I'm happy. I have no complaints. I love them. Thank you, Sin City Nutrition.
My name is James Slay, otherwise known as
Sizzling James Slay!
I am a professional wrestler, an independent professional wrestler. I pretty much, as you see behind us, we have the ring set up. We do professional style wrestling in the style of WWE and TNA and such like that, just on a smaller scale. I've been with the company actually 6 years now. Actually, this last March was my 6-year anniversary with Adrenaline Unleashed. Pro wrestling has been my dream since I was a little kid. I mean, ever since I could remember, I first saw Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker, and just, that was it. That was all I wanted to be. And I ended up getting the information about the pro wrestling training school that Adrenaline Unleashed offered about 6 years ago. I signed up and been doing it ever since. We train anywhere from 13 to 70 to 80 years old, depending on, if they could, hatch up in the ring still at that age. I'm not an official teacher, but I am, they call me Crash Test James, because I'm actually one of the people that, when everybody's starting out, I'm the one that they start, doing the bumps with and clotheslining and all that. So I kind of do help teach, but not officially. We have our heavyweight champion, Bryce Slavin, is a trainer. Tommy Misfit and Eccentric Lion, Kent Wilson is the head trainer in charge of everything. I love everything about this business. I mean, you know, from the company itself, Adrenaline Unleashed, these people have literally helped me out and saved my life countless times, to even just the dream of being part of the bigger guys in WWE and whatnot. It's a passion that's been unmatched ever since I could imagine. And once I actually started stepping in the ring and got a taste of it versus just having the fantasy of it, it's unbelievable to me. I feel like a little kid every time I step in the ring. Other than it being my dream, obviously I'm not the biggest guy, in the world. Growing up, I faced so much, hardship and adversity, and was, in certain positions that, it was really no other choice for me but to actually focus on this and to keep going. Otherwise, I would have ended up, dead a long time ago. From 16 to 21, I was actually homeless. I lived on the streets and slept in, storm drain gutters and, abandoned campers and everything. And, it was a friend of mine from high school that ended up, we started backyard wrestling together. And to me, at that point, that was, I thought that was as far as I was ever going to go. And then that same friend from high school years later ended up giving me the information for this school. And by that time, I'd turned my life around. I was at the point to where I was in the hospital about to die because I had an abscessed tooth, and without insurance and being homeless, they didn't want to touch me. But at that moment, it was, I had the choice of continuing the way I was or finding something to push me forward and keep me doing what I do. And given the information for the school, and I talked to Kent Wilson, the head trainer, a good 4 or 5 times via email before I actually signed up. I let him know my predicament and everything that I was in, and he took me in, and he's been, I call him Master Splinter because he's been my sensei for the last 6 years. And, every time I was at the point to where I had nothing left in my life, be it my house, my dogs, anything that I'd owned and I'd lost, these guys were here for me. And, not only just physically, but, they put up with, my fits and everything that I had. And it gave me an opportunity to, like I said, live my dream and to show people that no matter where you come from, if you put in the time and the work and you find something you love, you can do anything. I mean, I'm a pro wrestler. I mean, who would have thought I'd be able to say that, back when I was, that high. I've had, just the fans themselves, their overwhelming support, even when I wasn't the nicest guy on the roster. I kept getting, people telling me I'm an inspiration to them. When I read that, it inspires me to keep going, because if I could be their inspiration, they could be somebody else's inspiration, and I could hopefully prevent, the suicide attempts and all that from our younger generation by showing them that, hey, just believe. Anything could happen if you believe. Well, you'll hear it a lot. My moniker is I'm the king of drop kicks. Drop kicks are my favorite move to give out. They're really good, really clean, and I love kicking people in the face. I know that's not the nicest thing to say, but I also do. I got face busters and body slams, clotheslines. I do a variety of a mixture of kind of a brawler style and technical high flyer style. So I mean, and my moveset, it's ever changing, because in this business you're always learning better ways to do stuff, and newer moves, and innovating your character as well as your moveset and everything in the ring. So I mean, the only consistent thing I could say though is drop kicks. There's always going to be at least one drop kick in my match. I do about 7 days a week. I work with various free weights, curl bars and all that, do a lot of that. But I also do a lot of DDP yoga, and I mix it with some insanity workouts and stuff like that. A lot of calisthenics and a lot of cardio. And then we have our training days, which are 5 days a week here. And we do a lot of our in-work cardio, or our in-ring cardio, excuse me, and a lot of just ring conditioning and healthy eating and maintaining an active lifestyle to where you're not just sitting around and waiting for the match to come. But just overall cardio and weightlifting is what you gotta get into to get into this business. Well, I mean, obviously the less in shape you are, the less likely you're going to be able to perform to your top. I know every time we get slammed on the mat, it's being the equivalent of being rear-ended at 45 miles an hour. And without the proper conditioning, obviously you're going to feel fatigued. As soon as you step in the ring and you take that first slam. It takes a lot of conditioning because we do with our bodies what our body was trained not to do, which is throw ourselves down. We need to train our bodies to be able to fall and hit the mat versus we want to brace and stay up on our 2 feet, which is instinctively what we've always been taught. We try to flip that around. And without that, basic cardio and stuff going on, you're gonna get injured really bad. I mean, even all of us that are trained, we have bumps and bruises every night. There's pretty much not a day goes by that we're not sore at some point of our body, be it our arm or our back or neck or whatever. Something's always gonna be sore. And if you don't have the conditioning, that soreness is going to turn into a tore, tear in your ligament or something like that. One of our guys, Dirty Harold Merkin, he ended up going out with torn Achilles because he ended up taking somebody didn't protect him like they were supposed to, and he ended up tearing his Achilles. He was out for almost, I think, a year and a half before he came back. So conditioning is overall here. My diet, I try to eat healthy-ish for me. I mean, I have a fast metabolism, so I kind of get to cheat a little bit more. But I do a lot of Subway. I mean, they're right next door to my day job, so I mean, but just in a lot of protein and watching carbs and counting all that, it helps, but it's not necessarily, you can't just rely on, I ate a salad today, I should be fine. But with my size, I have to eat a little bit more to maintain and, keep from, losing the little bit of mass that I have. So, I mean, and I do have an addiction with cheeseburgers. It is, my one vice, and as you'll hear, there'll be some chance of cheeseburgers in the ring and everything tonight. Bring everything that you got, your dreams, your hopes, every ounce of energy that you have, you're gonna have to give to the ring. There is no room here for anybody that just wants to, dabble and put their foot in. It has to be all or nothing, and just as stated earlier, always believe. There's a lot of negative criticism that comes, with being a pro wrestler. And you got to be able to take that with stride, hold your head up high, even to the people, within the business that are going to look at you like you're not going to be able to make it. You got to be able to, just look at them, smile, and just keep going. And just as with anything in life, just give it your all. And, if you give it your all and you show that, you show up, you want to learn this business, and you have the love for this business, there's no limit. The sky's not even a limit to what you can do here. I mean, I've been here 6 years, and I'm still in my infancy when it comes to actually breaking into the business. But I've been in the ring with, people that I grew up watching, and staying humble about that is going to take you a long, long way. I mean, that's how I got to be able to, do the interview here, is just the staying humble part. You know, bring your A game and stay humble. Never let your ego get the best of you.
Not doing it just for pictures, okay? That's part of it, but I'm doing it for, it's on my bucket list. It's on my bucket list. It's something I've always wanted to do. I don't even know why I'm doing it. This is like the hardest thing ever. This is like, this is hard. This is not easy. You have to diet, you have to work out, like I'm working out 6 days a week, and I have a trainer. I have a trainer who beats me. It doesn't really beat me, but he kicks my butt every single time we train, and I don't know how long I can do that. Sometimes my friends, the comedians, they want to drink or they want to go out and eat after a show, and I'm like, I don't know. I know I'm going to have to work harder if I do, and I don't really want to work that hard, even though I'm already doing it. I'm just working harder. Who wants to work that hard? It's too hard to work that hard. Hey, what's up? My name is David Lee, and you're watching Made in Vegas. That's my nose, picking my nose. I'm picking my own nose. All right, I'll say that Jay Cutler's one of them. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah? Schwarzenegger? Anyway.